What's up, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of All the Mod 7. Today, we are going to get started messing with the RFTools Builder. Before we jump into any of that, guys, we are getting closer and closer and closer and closer to 1,000 subscribers. I believe right now we're about to hit the 800 mark and it's getting close. It's projected to be hitting 1,000 in like 23 days. Oh, I thought I saw an Enderman over there. I was kind of scared for a second. In 23 days? That's crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of excited about it. I've got a lot of big plans. Lots of big plans for when I hit that 1,000 mark. Make sure to keep up with all of the community posts that I've been doing. If you are subscribed, you can go check out all the different things I've been asking. I've been polling the community to see which packs you guys would like to see next. So make sure to check that out. Check out the socials, all that good stuff. Let's get started. Okay, so I am actually trying something new. I want to do something kind of new with the way I do my videos. Now, a lot of times what you guys will see me do, we'll start upstairs, I'll craft a bunch of things to get started, and then that's how we get working. The thing is I've already crafted everything this time. So I went ahead and took some offline time to craft everything that we're going to need. And I'll show you guys the recipe as I'm making these things so y'all can see what exactly that I'm doing. So I want to touch back up because we're going to have to take a look at this first. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is not a builder. This is not what builders are for. But essentially, whenever you get a builder and you use it as a quarry like we're going to do today, you're going to need some way to deal with all of the mess that comes out of the quarry. So we're going to go ahead and set up an ore processing or reuse our ore processing system that we have right here. Last time we left off, we have these as factories, and I don't know if I have enough speed going for them. I already went ahead and upgraded this to an unobtainium furnace, so we do get some fast smelting. And in the back here, the way I have this set up, we have our water being pumped into our electrolytic separators, and then it's going into the back here of the purifying factory, and then this is just all power. These are universal pipes. They're actually relatively easy to make. Let me see. This is the recipe for it. So yeah, you just need item pipe, energy pipes, fluid pipes. You don't need gas pipes or anything. Just put them together. You make some universal pipes. It's pretty dope. This is where all of our ores and stuff that are going to be processed are going to come out to. So there's a lot of different ways you can do this because the builder is going to be in the mining dimension, I believe. I think I can put it out there. The way I want to do this is using a controller. You're like, Alfred, God, come on. All you ever do is use a controller. Yeah, because controllers are dope. Like what? Controllers are so cool. I absolutely love controllers. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pop this here. I'm going to leave it like this for right now. The reason why is because if I go ahead and set this thing to pull, it'll go ahead and start pulling before I'm even ready to start pulling, and we don't want that just yet. But we do also need to go ahead and link this in. So nothing different here. We have our network receiver here. We'll get a network card here and we'll right click it to get the card going. So I'm not fully sure how I'm going to do this. Not fully sure because we're going to need an importer too. And the importer is going to come out from the top here. So we will need to connect these pipes for one to the top up here, and we'll need an importer. So just so you guys know, I have an advanced exporter and an advanced importer. I upgraded these and there's a specific reason why. So the advanced importer is actually from the mod extra storage, and it's refined storage, but it upgrades your importer. So when you place the importer down right here, it gives you 2 rows, and then you could upgrade this, I believe, into an elite one. I want to say these things actually keep going. So elite importer is just an importer with some blocks of irons. I could have actually just straight up upgraded to the best kind. Let's see what we got here. Ultra, we have an so it's ultra is the max, right? Ultra, yeah, ultra would be the max minus the creative items here. But basically what this is going to do is it's going to import everything out of here into our system right here. Now we can do an exporter right here. And the exporter will basically say anything that we're going to set up for the storage controller will get pulled out and will be put into the system to be smelted. So if we wanted to specifically say, okay, we want to export any kind of ore that we get into the system, we could just export it here. Now that I think about it, what if we just did this? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to break this. We're going to put this network receiver right there. We're going to take our network card again and right click it to get it. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to take and get our ender chest. So I have ender chest, and this is how we're going to get transport items from the different dimensions to here. And the ender chest is actually going to sit right there. We can change the colors and everything to match up. And then this way we can output from the ender chest right here. That's good. Now we got to set these controllers up. What I'm going to do is just make a wall here like this. And I don't need to put any upgrades or anything in them. I don't know how many that I'm going to need, but I'm just going to go ahead and do this. And then I'm going to go ahead and lock these and add these with the linking tool. So let's go ahead and link them first. So come over here, shift right click, and then we're going to add all of these. I wonder how many you can link to one controller. And then I'm going to go ahead and lock all of them here, just like this. And so this way, what we can do is we can export everything from the ender chest into the controller. And then the controller will hold all of the different items that we're going to have. And then we will export, or we will pull right here from the item pipe to get it started and tell the item pipe which ones we want to pull out. So the only thing here is that we need to tell this chest as well that we need to import something from it as well. We need to say, hey, what do we want to import directly here? Because not everything is going to run through this smelter, right? So we have like redstone, diamond, stuff like that. So we also need to tell it exactly, hey, you know, we want these things to come out. So we can do an importer here, and then we can do a cable as well. So this is kind of set up. All we need to do now is place the builder and probably color code this. I don't know, since this is my first ender chest, I think it doesn't really matter if I color code this or not. This thing is going to get full pretty fast. If you've never worked with an ender chest or a builder, oh, you're gonna have some fun. Before we do all of that crazy stuff, one, we need to go ahead and put this in our network receiver up here so that way it adds to our system. You might notice some new things up here. I've got some storage monitors. I haven't put anything from this one just yet, but these storage monitors tell me how much we have of the uraninite and how much we have of our inferium. So that way, if they ever get too high, I can know exactly, or if they ever get too low, rather, I can know exactly what to do. Or in the case of inferium, if it gets too high, I need to take care of it. Also upgraded my iron crafter to have a bunch of different patterns and stuff inside of it to make it a little bit easier, like our blocks of iron, the different kinds of pipes. I don't think the pipes, this was just me messing around, but it's in here in case I need any of them. Same thing for our vibranium, unobtainium. Makes it a little bit easier to craft some stuff. I also was experimenting with the metallurgic infuser with a crafter. I figured it out, and I'm going to do this a little bit later. But first, I do want to power this machine right here. This is called a machine infuser, and this is part of RFTools. So if we go over here and we go to RF and then we type in infuser, we can take a look at all of this recipe. So this recipe takes some dimensional shards, some diamonds, some redstone, and then that machine frame. If you don't know where you can get dimensional shards can be made if you have everything, but you can get them from the end. And the end is actually where I grabbed a couple of them. I actually didn't get too many, but the machine infuser actually infuses machines to make them faster or to do certain things. And this specific infuser will actually make our builder faster. So for those who don't know about what the builder does, the builder is not just a builder. It's actually really cool. It's very easy to make. We got blocks of redstone. We have all the modium nuggets. I guess you will have to get to allthemodium first. It's very easy to work with. You just need a little bit of knowledge to know how to do it. This block can quarry areas, pump liquids, move, copy, swap structures, collect items, and experience, move entities, build structures. It's crazy. This thing can do everything. It has an infusing bonus, so when you infuse it, it reduces the power consumption and increases the speed. But what you need to increase the speed is those dimensional shards. So we throw this in here, and we throw the shards in there, it'll start infusing it. See, it's infused 1, 2, 3. So we might need a little bit more. I want to get this thing to 100, so we're probably actually going to have to go to the end to grab some more. Let's go to the end and grab some more. Okay, let's see if this is enough. This will be my first time infusing the builder and using it like this, so that's going to be pretty cool. But while this is all stacking up, let me explain how the builder works. So if we go over here and we go to Add RF, you can look at all of these cards. If we just type in card, you can see all of these different kinds of cards. At the base, we have a shape card. So there's also a space card. Something about space chambers. I've never used it. It seems cool. But we have shape cards. This will be for placing liquids. We have a pump. We have a clearing pump, a quarry. And basically what this does is it tells the machine what to do. So if you want to use a quarry, you have to have a shape card quarry. This is the base thing to make. It takes some diamond shovels, diamond pickaxe, basic materials, and of course the shape card itself. The shape card's actually pretty cool because you can actually set like certain settings and stuff to tell it exactly how big of a quarry you want it, you know, where you want it. You could displace it from the builder. It's actually really dope, and I'll show you all that a little bit later. But you can also upgrade the shape card or make it do different things. So a clearing quarry clears out the area. So just to make sure I clarify here, the quarry itself actually replaces the blocks that it mines with dirt or other things like that. So keep that in mind. If you do a clearing quarry, it's like your standard quarry where it just clears everything out and makes it empty and leaves a void. So if you do this in something like the Nether, and you have a lot of blocks like lava and stuff flowing, you're going to get a lot of lag. So keep that in mind. A lot of people use the clearing quarries inside of the end. I believe you can use it there. I'm not 100% sure, but you use it there so that way you can find yourself some unobtainium faster and you can just clear out the end highlands very easily. You can also upgrade these to fortune, which I actually already have done. We've upgraded our quarry card to a fortune card, and we're just going to take a look at this. This is a very easy recipe. Some gas tiers, some dimensional shards, and yeah, it's pretty dope. It's a pretty easy thing. We'll take a look at it a little bit later, but I've got this one right here. Is it infused yet? It's almost infused all the way. It does take a lot of these shards. Oh, there it is. It's infused. Sweet. So this just makes it where it's easier to use, faster to use, uses less power. This is going to be fun. Like if you haven't seen what a quarry does and how fast it runs, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So what we're gonna do is we're going to go to the mining world. Now, I personally suggest when you get here, you have something like, especially if you're playing on a server. If you're playing solo player, it's not like it really matters, but take yourself a waystone and you can get yourself a little bit far. You can do /RTP if you want to, but it doesn't really matter since this is a solo player world for me, and I'm just gonna do quarry. So that way I have a way to get here. Let's go ahead and figure this out together. Okay, let's look at this together. So if we place this sucker down, it just shows nothing. You see at the top it says space card empty. We also see current level not scanning at the top left. Well, that's because it needs a couple things. The first thing we want to do is we want to put our chest right on top. The reason why is because the quarry here will actually, or the builder automatically outputs to the top. There's a lot of really cool things in the GUI, but we'll get to that in a little bit. We also want to give it power. So the best way to give it power is just by sticking a point on it. This will directly tap in to our power point. We want to make sure we bypass the limit here, and it's already set to like and sub for more. But this should give it enough power. You're like, oh, that's cool. It's got, you know, looks like 1 million. Is that 1 million? It looks like 1 million FE already stored in there, or whatever it is, whatever energy power that it uses. And it's pretty much ready to go, except for we have to tell it what to do. So the fortune quarry card, you can actually do a couple of things here. Here's what I'm going to do. There's 2 ways to do this, and let me show you both. First, you can just shift right click on it, and it will say now select the first corner. So this is kind of the easiest way to do it, to tell it to output and to input properly. So we can click here, right there, and then let's see, I don't know where that happened, but we're gonna go fly all the way back over here and do our standard quarry shape and just go all the way over here and then all the way out here and then just plop it down right here. What this did is it basically said it's going to dig just this one Y level. If we hold shift and right click, it'll pop it up. The dimensions is 71 by 1 by 98. Now, there's 2 things here. You have dimension and offset. The offset is basically the offset from the builder itself. So this is where it's at, and basically you can, with these, you can actually move where it's at. It's pretty cool. Before we install the module, I'll just throw it in there. We want to set some things up here. So it's saying 1 right here, because it's only going to dig 1. Usually you could see up here, you can actually select which shape that you want. There's like a bunch of different shapes. Left click obviously goes forward, right click goes backwards, and then you could do hollow if you just want to make like an outline of something like that too. This is not just used for quarrying, this is used for building and so many different things. It's pretty dope. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to set this to 100. We're going to plop this sucker in there, and now it has some power and everything. We want to see if we can show where it's digging. We can set which one it is. There it is. See, it's going to go up. We don't want that. So let me explain this a little bit better to make this a little bit easier, because I always have a problem with this for whatever reason. So once you select your 2 points or whatever, the dimensions is the size of the box, basically how big this sucker is. So what we're gonna set this to is 150. This is the Y level. So how many Y levels we want to go down, essentially. We have offset, which this pretty much just offsets where it is in the world. You can, if you want to make this easy, you can click one area and then go to the very bottom right corner as far down as you want to do. And that'll set this whole entire thing up for you. So let's say if I just reset this again. So if I shift right click it and I click here, we're gonna do this one more time and we go all the way out here and we right click. Now these settings are done. The problem is if we take a look at it, it's only showing 1. We want this to be like 100, okay? We want this actually to be like 150, okay? Because that's your Y up and down. When we right click to place this in here and we show that support, it's going to go up because it's selected right here as the builder at the southwest corner. If we click northwest corner, it will now say, okay, I'm going to go down 150. And nothing's going to happen right now until we click this right here. This is the start button or the restart button. Now this is going to fill this ender chest up really quickly, like really quickly. The builder also has its own storage, and if the storage above it gets full, it will just turn off. That's how it works. And we have a lot of sorting that we want to do for this. Now you could also take this shape card, and before we do this, and you can come over here and click on what you want to void. If you want to void stone, if you want to void cobblestone, dirt, you could void all these different things. I actually want to void I don't want to void cobblestone. I do want to void dirt. I do want to void, and that's, I mean, the rest of these aren't actually in there. So I just want to void stone, and I want to void dirt. It's not even going to give me stone because I'm not doing a silk quarry, so it's not going to give me stone. But if we click the tag matching, it's basically going to say any kind of stone we find or any kind of cobblestone that it finds, it'll delete it. So we're going to have a ton of different kind of cobblestones coming through. So for this initial thing, I'm just going to go ahead and void that. And then we can go ahead and shove this back in here. And then to start with, all you got to do is click right here and turn this off, ignored. Not enough room or no usable storage. So this is all the stuff that came through in that itty bitty tiny bit of time. So what we're going to do is, one, we want to make sure that we chunk load this exact spot that we're in. So I'm actually going to make sure that I turn on the chunk loading so I can see what chunk this falls into. And we're going to hit M, and then we're going to make sure we force load this so that way it stays on. If you're wondering what button I'm hitting, it's F9 to see what the chunks are. So heading back to the house here, we should have our chest full of stuff. This is where we're going to start saying, where do we want these things to go? So we can actually set a lot of this stuff up before it even does it, like before anything happens. So if I shift right click here, and then I plug in this ultimate pipe upgrade, we can start taking out some of these things in here so that way we can get it to, we want to make sure this is set to whitelist so that way it doesn't pull everything out. And then we can start saying, okay, I want all copper to come out of here and pump into here. There will be a backup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make each one of these a chest. So that way it never gets backed up. See, it automatically pulled from there and started. Oh God, there's going to be such a backup. Oh my God. So same thing. I'm just going to go ahead and do that for each of these. That needs to go into the smeltery. That's important. So step one, we're going to add the NBT in here, and then I'm going to put it over here for this own little area. And then I'll continue doing this until we've gotten everything that needs to be smelted. Go ahead, mind you, and go ahead and turn this off or turn this to redstone mode only right now. And you could probably actually just set this to whitelist, so that way it doesn't just start pulling out right here. I thought it was pulling into this, but just go ahead and make sure that it doesn't pull out from here. The builder is still working, and it'll have a bunch of inventory to press in here, but just make sure you set this before you start doing like I'm doing with it already set up. Just go ahead and make sure that you turn that off so that way it doesn't start importing into your system. All right, so everything that you want to, like, not the raw stuff, but everything that you want to go directly into your system, that's where that importer is actually going to come into. So lapis, stuff like that, dark gems. I think even the crushed dark gems are going to be great. So let's go ahead and add these to this advanced importer. So that way they just get instantly imported. Also, go ahead and put yourself some upgrades in this. You want to make sure you have some upgrades so that way it just pulls these stacks out whenever there's an issue. You don't want this to to back up and have a really bad problem here. As we see, these things are already getting pumped from the quarry here because I put them over here. I think I've gotten everything right here. We can double check by just keep pulling this like this. Fastest way to do it, pull everything from here. Just double right click here and it'll take everything out. And everything that doesn't have its own spot, like in your inventory, that you want to pump out, you just go ahead and throw over here just to make sure that you've got everything and it's already there. Let's turn the importer on. So turn it back on to ignore redstone, and then it should start pulling out anything that we don't already have in the system. Same thing here. We should be able to pull here and then upgrade this. And then let's see how it works. Shouldn't pull anything over here. So anything that isn't already put into a spot, so like this iron ore, we can just throw that in there and it'll start importing it in there. So these are all the things that don't have a spot. And check this out. Instead of clicking add, you can just shift click and it should automatically add that in there. So if we scroll down, just shift clicking on it will automatically add it. So fluorite will go through here. Redstone will also go through here. And now we're probably going to need to upgrade each of these storages to have a little bit more because this thing has got 2K copper already. The blood moon rises. Good thing I'm all the way indoors and it doesn't affect me. We have enough to do a diamond upgrade on each one of them, which I think honestly, because of copper, how much I'm going to get from that, I think I'm only going to do iron and gold here, and then copper is probably going to, I mean, 3 gives it 2 gives it 1.2 million, and I think that should be enough. And we'll hold on the rest of them until later. Let's see how the sucker's working. So anything that doesn't get pulled out of here, like the prosperity shards, we'll have to go back into here. It looks like we're going to need a better importer, but it's going. It is plowing through this here. The only downside is that if I don't have enough storage space up top, so if we go up top here and we look, if I don't have enough storage space, this will fill. Oh no! Okay, we got to make some more storage disks. This will fill incredibly quick, especially if you don't have, we've got a bunch of sand in here, but it will fill really fast. So let me go ahead and upgrade and get us a couple more storage disks. Good God, that thing's working fast. Let me do that real quick. And I'm also going to make myself a better importer too, because we're going to need a bigger one. I don't think I will ever like making these things. I'm going to be honest with you. They're so incredibly annoying to make. I don't care if it's refined storage or AE2, it's just annoying because you got to make 50 billion of each one of them to make it work, and we need some silicon. 2 64K disks should be okay, right? That should be enough. That doubles my storage right here, so we got a bunch. Honestly, we really need to upgrade it. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. This is not gonna be enough. I mean, I think we're getting a bunch of stuff. This is definitely backed up by a long shot. Like, this is so backed up. We're gonna have to fix this later. But I'm going to go ahead and turn off this right here. So we're going to off when powered, on when powered. So we're going to turn that off like that. Same thing here. We're going to turn this only work with redstone signal. Let's go ahead and break this. We'll replace it with our ultra exporter here. Make sure to turn that. Did I make an ultra exporter? No way. It's supposed to be an ultra importer. Okay, and now that I have the right thing, let's go ahead and make sure we turn this off here or set this to whitelist. The ultra importer gives us this for wide niceness. And now I'm going to grab everything out that would be pulled from here, like coal, diamond, all that good stuff, so that way we can keep it all filtered. So now that's set back up, we're going to have to do some more here, but this thing is working just like I wanted to. This is definitely backed up here by like a lot. This is definitely really backed up. As we see, it's still pumping in this raw zinc that comes from over here, and it's got to go through all of these different ones. And this is all the stuff that we got from just that one little area. We got 20K copper, we've got 1.1K iron, 400 gold, and we have all of this, and everything else is already in my system. So if it was diamonds, lapis, all the good stuff, it's already in here. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to go back to that builder and we're going to take a look. Like I said, this thing is fast and it's already done. It's already finished. So now that it's finished, you're like, oh man, what do I do? You can hit this button to restart if you'd like to, or you can just click this button right here and now it'll go to the left. And then we could do the same thing and hit this button and now it should start pouring in here. I'm going to go ahead and start filtering this stuff out myself so I can get it on the other end. So I'm going to go back to the house where we were at and make sure that this filters out right. So from over here, I can take the things that might pop out of here and need to go into here and just plug them back in, and then it should pull it. You can actually put the stuff back in here and it'll automatically pull it if it's ready or not. We can see we are stacking up really quick. So there's multiple things that I want to do to make this thing better. The first thing is making this a lot faster, because this isn't it. Right now, this thing is not that fast. We can actually upgrade these and give them a bunch of speed upgrades, and I think with the power that we have now, these things should be able to plow through these. I mean, only some of these have really good speed upgrades. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade these really fast and see how fast it goes. All right, now these things have max speed. Looks like a max speed and max energy, but now we have a bottleneck. As we can see, these things are working perfectly fine. These are working perfectly fine. The bottleneck is right here with our oxygen. We're going to need to upgrade these suckers over here and make sure that they have max speed and energy as well. So that's 3 more machines that I need to make sure are pumping the most. So now we've got it. Oh, we got some speed upgrades left. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. And we also want to connect it because it's actually not connected. That's kind of important. We're missing the connector pipe that goes right there. So we needed to do 2 pipes. We're going to go ahead and do a 3rd one just to keep up with the energy output that it needs. So both of these, or all of these, have an ultimate pipe upgrade to keep these things powered enough to where they're generating at least enough to not even fill this up. We're going to have to make a couple of more of these to keep this going. But as we see, this is not pumping out right here because this advanced importer right here is not set properly. It's not working because it doesn't have speed upgrades in it. That's why. And that should yoink these things out pretty quickly. Yep, there it goes. Okay, now it's catching up to it. So that's all we needed. We needed to make sure it was there. So let's go over this one more time because I know it was a lot, just to make sure everybody can follow here. We have an ender chest that's set up to our builder inside of the mining world. To our ender chest, we have an ultra importer here to say, hey, these are all the items that I specifically want pumped out into our system. These can be like emerald, redstone, stuff that doesn't get smelted or doesn't really need to be smelted, but it also can be things that you want to deal with on your own, like resonating ore, because that needs to be somewhere separate, or raw uraninite, because that just needs to be smelted and then output. So we don't want to touch that, and that goes into this importer. Network receiver here to get our items from this setup into our system here. We have an item pipe right here onto my storage controller. This pumps items that we want smelted out into my controller. My controller is then linked to any kind of raw ore and any kind of thing that I want like that over here. That way, if there is a backup in your system, they could always output to one of these storage systems over here, which is exactly what's been happening, it looks like. Then, from the controller that is linked to all of those, we output into this item pipe here that does say exactly what we want output, which is from these over here. And then it pulls it into here just like this and starts smelting it down or doubling with this simple setup. Now I know mechanism can go up to like ×5, or we even have a cultism, and I don't really know how we would automate that. But then it goes through the system like normal, gets smelted into here in the obtainium furnace, which then goes into our importer into our system. So that way we can actually just look at our ingots and see that our ingots are steadily going up, and we have a ton of them now. Now I know we already get a bunch of resources via bees, but this is actually kind of nice to have a bunch of things like this, to have it popping in here and adding up and growing, like our nickel, our osmium, things that I haven't already made bees for. So it's kind of cool to have all these in here. Yeah, this is kind of keeping up. We would probably need to double this out, or at least make it where we get some more oxygen. No, it's not even oxygen that's the problem right now. We would probably just need to upgrade this into a factory real quick. Make another factory upgrade. If you're wondering what that is, it's these right here, these tier installers. So you'd make a basic tier to get the first one, then the advanced tier, and then you would get the elite tier, which takes a whole lot more stuff. God, let's turn that sound off. It sounds so bad. And for those who want to turn the sound off, all you got to do is go into your little muffle sound thing and just make sure that we have mechanism, and just click these little muffle sounds. This button right here, the muffler, you click that. So I hope this helped you even just a little bit with the RFTools Builder, and we're using this to get a bunch of materials, and I'll eventually be using this to get a bunch of cobblestone and some things that we need for the All the Mod Star. Now, if you guys got any tips or anything like that, and for the shape card itself, to kind of explain a little bit more about the offset, that would be absolutely amazing, because the offset just keeps giving me problems and it's annoying, and I wanted to show the area. I don't know what it is, but it never wants to work for me, but clicking top left, top right works. Oh, it just stopped. What you stopping for? I think it's just plugging up. That's fine. That's okay. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked the video, make sure you hit like and subscribe, pushing us closer to our goal of 1,000 subs. There is a couple of new things in the works, and you might hear a little bit more about it later on. Maybe some 100 days, maybe some All the Mods 8. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye!